interested. Instead, you would say, I respect what you're saying. If I can show you a way that that benefits you and meets your needs and puts more money into your pocket, will you allow me the opportunity to try? That's the effective route. We're not offering a solution yet. I'm just getting him to agree if he's willing to let me try. If he says yes, I have more buying time to sell him, because he just gave me permission to continue. Before he was cutting me off and saying I'm not interested, and now I'm getting him to give me permission to continue. And really all I have to do is overcome and outweigh it through the features and benefits of what we have to offer. That's all. That's the easy part. All right, I'm going to end this because we're running out of time. I want you to come up. I also combine my techniques, so I can use different techniques into one. I don't just use one technique at a time. Okay. Here's the mic. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sheila. Hi. Anyways, I just wanted to share some of the things that I do whenever I'm in the call. Actually, this is going to be my first time, so I did write some of the stuff that Kathy taught us. First of all, of course, it's during the 5 seconds of the call. We already know this, right? You will introduce yourself. So yeah, hi, my name is Amy Garcia, and that's how I impeach. Hi, my name is Amy Garcia, and who am I speaking with? I make sure that I know who I'm speaking with. I make sure I make sure that I'm speaking with the owner, of course, because he's gonna be the one that's gonna make the decision. Anyways, that's the script. I make sure that every call, the owner, they would really ask me questions. I'm really not afraid to ask, do you have any other questions for me, or is everything clear? I make sure that everything is clear before I let go of the call. And also, what else? The connection. Kathy told us about the connection. I make sure that I have a connection with the customer. Like for example, I have this customer. She was crying all the time. I mean, the whole call she was crying. At first I asked her, is there a problem? I mean, do you want me to continue with the call? And she told me everything. She told me that the business was at the end. I mean, it's falling, and the $300 would be a lot help with their business. We really should listen to what our customers will be telling us, because that's where we will have the connection with them. All right. So it's not just like I have to make this sale. It's not that. It's how we will help the customer. It's how we will how we will help them. What else? About the email and the callback that Caddy told us. I make sure that I know the customer. I know the name. I make sure that that when the customer tells me to call back at this time, I make sure that I call that time. What else? I don't know what else to say.
What kind of objections do you get, and how do you kind of overcome them?
I'm not interested. At first, I would ask them, are you currently are you currently accepting credit card payments? If the customer says yes, then I'll know that I really don't have to like explain everything, because he already knows how merchant works. But if the customer would say like, no, I'm not accepting credit cards, well, I would tell them, though, that I have a good news for you. We're actually giving out free credit cards. It's really how you say it. It's really how you present your product, how you present what, how you tell your customers, how you tell them that we're giving them free credit cards, we're giving them this, we're giving them the $300. I think, and it's how you tell them about the terminals. I make sure that I explain everything to them, and I make sure that they understand me, that they understand what I'm giving them. I think.
Yeah, I think that's key. Thank you very much. Give our hand, guys. I think that well, there's a couple of things I would not do though. I would not say what is the problem, and I would not say my name is. I would definitely say this is instead of my name is. And don't use the word what is the seems to be the problem. Just say, oh, what happened? Is there anything I can do for you, or can I help you? Be a little bit more customer service in that area. Or you sound sad. Is there anything I can do for you? I mean, I actually pray with people over the phone, but that's not you. That's me. So do you want me to pray for you? I'll pray for you. And I always say yes. They always say yes. I love to pray, so that's why I always ask that question. And so just, you know, she says the connection. Just connect with the customer. Get them to like you. Every client that I've ever sold, even the ones I haven't sold, they love me. They love me. They like me right off the bat. One thing they like me about is that I know my stuff. I know what I'm talking about. There's no way they can challenge me on anything because I have an answer for everything. So be prepared. Know your product, know what you're selling, know how I'm going to help them, and just deliver that with confidence. You don't have to use the same words I use. Use your own words, but know your product and deliver the message well and with confidence. If you could just focus on those things, then you're going to make sales every day. Every day you'll make sales if you just focus on those three things. Some will make more sales than others, okay, because they deal with the objections properly, they're listening carefully, they're not taking no for an answer, they're not being timid or shy, you know, they're being assertive about it. And so it's just something that you're just going to have to practice. But remember, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're not getting the results, then you definitely need to start changing what you're doing, because what you're doing is not working if you're not making the sales she's making. And she's only been with us 2 weeks, and every week she's done over 8 sales a week.
She can make like 5 to 8 sales in a day.
5 to 8 sales a day?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought it was per week. 5 to 8 sales per day. We have her recordings too that we can pass along to you guys.
Send it to all the
Yeah, you can listen to her recordings and get an idea. She's probably not doing it perfectly the way I would do it, and she's making probably mistakes, but whatever she is doing is working. So I'm not going to interfere with that. If she says the word problem or may I don't really care. As the sales are there, they're there. I'm not going to interfere with her flow. I'm not even going to try to make it even better for her because she's already doing outstanding work. And she's getting credit card. She's getting the bank information and the Social Security. Tell us about that real quick, because that seems to be an issue for some people, getting the bank information and the Social Security number.
Actually, I get all those the numbers at the last part. I get the name, the company, I mean the Social Security, the tax at the last part. After I get the bank information, and I ask them on the quick app. There is the question there: where would you want your money deposited? What's the bank's name? And then after I've gathered the routing number, the account number, and then I ask the tax ID number. Then after that, the last part is the social security number and the date of birth. I usually tell the customers first to be sure that you're gonna be the one who will be receiving the $300. I will be needing your social security number just to be sure. What's your social security number? And I don't know, they just give it out.
Because she gave an incentive for the $300. But it's working for her. So if it's working for her, then, when we send you her recordings, you can model after what she's doing. And if you're getting sales, we don't care about the small little semantics, of the sale. We just care that you're getting a quality sale, that the sale is done correctly. The customer has to know what they're saying yes to, right? They have to know what they're saying yes to. Patrick, did you want to share a few things? Yeah.
It's okay. I have a loud
You have a loud, like me. He's like me.
So, hi everyone. Can you hear me at the back?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Patrick. I own one of the centers that who's running KSC's merchant account. Well, aside from merchant, I also run their other account. And I want to give you tips on how you'd be able to, just like what Kathy said, our center have the lowest cancellation rate. We're making like 200 plus sales in a month, and we're getting like less than 10% cancellation. So just last month alone, we only had like 6 cancellations out of 200 sales. Okay, but anyway, I want to share you some tips on how you'd be able to. I have 2 sides. I have the management side and I have the agent side. So let's start first with the agent side. So I want to stress out what Kathy just discussed to you earlier. So the bottom line here is the being conversational with your client or to your customer. You need to be conversational. When you're discussing something, you need to be conversational. And I want to discuss to you just really quick on how are you going to do that conversational thing to your client. Okay, let's divide it into 4. The first one is the pace. Okay, so when you hear client, you always mirror the pace of your customer. Okay, because if your client or customer is speaking fast, you also need to speak fast for them. If your client is speaking slow, you always mirror. You also need to speak slow. That's how you do it in terms of pacing. The second one is the tone. Okay, so when you say tone, you don't sound like you're reading the script. You need to sound like you're not reading the script, delivering it as it coming from yourself in a natural way. Okay, did you hear how Sheila delivered her spiel earlier, especially when collecting the banking information? She sounded like very conversational, right? Do you agree? Okay, but anyway, so that's how you do it. Next one is, so let's discuss about the energy. So you always need to make sure that you have energy. And the last one is the volume. Okay, and Kathy already discussed to you all of those. So basically, if you have those 4 components, that's what we call the 4 components of effective script delivery. So basically, if you have all of those, definitely you will make a sale. That's how simple it is. Okay, now for the management side, I want to stress out on giving out incentives. I know that you do it all the time. So you always need to reward your agents. You always need to reward, because your agents are the ones who are working for the center. They are the soldiers of your center. So you always need to care for them. Okay? Because they are your soldiers. So for me, they are the most important part of my company, our agents. Okay, so always need to give incentives. You always reward their performance, especially the top producing agents. You always need to design, you always need to make sure that at the end of the day, at the end of the month, the top agent or the top contributing agents will get rewarded. Because that's the key in being successful. So that's it. So if you have more questions, you can just ask Michelle, and Michelle can always relay the question.
Okay, thank you. Before we end, does anybody have any questions for me that maybe I didn't answer, you need more clarification on? Okay. I've done is I've tweaked the script a little bit, not much. So Michelle, I put them in the Dropbox, and you have a link, right? Everyone has a link. The management has a link to the scripts and everything. Go look in there and make sure you have the updated scripts and rebuttals. I even added this rebuttal. Let's see here. This is that default close I was telling you about. Don't stop your current processor. That's all there. It's been there. But I added this one. There's one sitting on the fence if you don't have that one. Procedure for getting bank and social security details. So I added that in there. So just make sure that if the agent is not able to get this, you should be able to get the social security number and the bank details as she described it. But if you can't, pass it over to your supervisor, and your supervisor is going to need to do it. And if you attempted with the supervisor following what's in this script, because I have it scripted out for the supervisor, and you're still not able to get it, then the supervisor, let's see where I have it. What I can do is send your application to our processing department, and they will go through a few security questions with you to complete the app so that they can process it and get your terminal to you, and you can start processing with us. At that time, they will need to get your social security number and banking information. Otherwise, we are not able to set you up. Understanding that we need this information, are you willing to provide this information at that time? So if you try to get it, send it to the supervisor, they try to get it and couldn't, you could do one of two things. You could do this, and then our client's going to call them back anyway because they, by law, have to ask 3 security questions. Those security questions like, did you live on Bellhaven, Music, Polson, or none of the above? So these are typical bank security type questions. They're going to ask them 3 to make sure that they are indeed the person that they needed, that is authorized to be able to approve, this merchant processing. And at that time, they'll ask for the social security number and the tax ID if they're a corporation, and the bank information if you weren't able to retrieve it. But the client doesn't want to have to do that on every single application. You have to make the attempt first. If you made the attempt first, then you're cleared. It's fine. But if you did it and you pass it through, then the client's going to ding you financially for that. Because now they have to go through something that you should have already done. And you were sent an email regarding what that financial penalty is. And that's basically about it. If you have to hot transfer it, you can, but the clients, people are really busy. They may not answer because they're on the phones with other customers. So we take a risk of not being able to reach them on the other end. But, so I would prefer to do it this way, first. And then you would just write on the comment, already tried to get it. They are only willing to give it to the verifier. Just put that in the comment. And we'll be able to listen to the recording to verify that that was true. And if it was true, we'll back you up. Kathy Sisk Enterprises will back you up, make sure you're not dinged for it if you have made every attempt to try. We'll make sure you get paid for it at full price. Okay? Any questions? All right, well, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. And I wish you well, and I'll be praying for you for good success. And you always have Michelle available to you, and if she needs me, she always has me available to her to help you. All right? Good selling tonight.